All right. In the mix with Eddie Gray. Let's get right into it. Just waiting for everything to turn on. We're going to be mixing a hip hop track. You guys know that I have signed a major publishing deal with one of the best publishers in the game, 45 songs. Now, that's what I'm getting paid for, but I will be providing 50 songs. They don't know it yet, but that's what you do. You go above and beyond and you make sure that your work has the stamp of approval. So when they listen to you, when they talk to you, they know this person right here, they are all about it. So we're going to get in the mix. This is unrehearsed. Look, I don't want to do things like everybody else, right? Everybody else, they'll kind of like conduct themselves, they'll write out the videos, they'll make everything nice and pretty, nice and polished. We're going to get in the game and things are going to get messy. All right. So here we go. Let's dive right in. You have any questions, hit me up in the chat and we'll take it from there. So this is from a music licensing opportunity. And so I've got a song here. It's in its infancy, just kind of starting out. I've done my best to kind of flesh out the song, but essentially this is a collaboration with Jacques Franco. Uh, great writer. I love what he does. And so when we get in these spots, when we need to collaborate with people, you reach out, right? Start forming a team, start forming people who are dependable, capable, exceptional, and are ready to step up their game. So here is the basic idea. So the very first thing I'm hearing as I'm just, kind of getting an overview of the track is the snare, right? It's not powerful enough, it's not snapping enough. And so I'm going to address that as soon as I get my machine up and running. Just give me one sec. Yeah, with hip hop, like as part of the criteria, it's safe to say like the kick has to hit, right? The snare has to kind of whack you in the face. It's just part of it. So that's what we're gonna do here. Let me go ahead and just restart this computer. Maybe that's what it needs. If you guys know my work, you guys know I'm big on a machine. Love those samples, and I also like to play them in. So I have a dedicated computer right here that allows me to get those samples in my session. And then just a heads up too, I got somebody coming in about 30 minutes, so I might have to dip. But all right, so let's go and address the snare. Let's just kind of listen to the snare for a bit. Okay, I like the combination of this snare, right? Bit sharper, and this one is nice and soft. Together, when played against one another, you get the benefit of both of those sounds, the initial transient, the initial attack, and then kind of the reverberation thereafter. That's nice. That's not enough though. I want to um get a sharper sound. Something with more edge on it. So I'm going to take this track, I'm going to hold command and I'm going to duplicate with the same content and the same settings. The only difference here is I've got this snare in mono. I'm going to take that off. Um, and then we're going to change the sample itself. Notice this view is very big. So in Logic, you can change that by going up here into this menu. And I'm going to resize. All right. So let's look for a snare that works with what we're trying to do here. You know what? Let's see what we got here. Let's go with drums, electronic drums. Just want the single snare. All right, I'll go ahead and cycle through a couple of these and let's see what we can get. Actually, maybe. Let's try that out. Add some parallel compression, maybe I'll leave the reverb in. So I'm going to go here. Here's a parallel compression already set. Let's raise this up. Let's see what happens here. Like that a little better. Watch, listen without it. Yeah, we get a little bit more attack. All right, and then a trick that I like to do for hip hop is I'll compress the reverb. It's a nice way to get it to come across a little bit harder. Remember what a compressor does, right? It levels out the dynamic range of a signal. So I'll use something intense like the FET. Let's make sure we hit the signal by setting the threshold, right? If this is all the way down and the meter's not moving, compressor's not working. So let's try and get that first. Now remember, this is happening on a bus level, okay? So this is kind of after the initial dry signal. So let's play this. Put the reverb first and the compressor after. That should sound better. Yeah. You're listening before? Yeah. I'll add some distortion to that, see how that works. Let's see, is my machine back? Yeah, we're good. Let me go ahead and add. Let's try this today, see what happens. All right, cool. So that is working for me. Let's unsolo everything at the same time. I have that set to Control Option Command S, and then now we're back in biz. Let's see what happens. So happy with that. And that's really the goal. Every single time I sit down, whether it's for 30 minutes or 2 hours or 6 hours or 12 hours, it's getting those little bumps in production. So like little, wins, like where you're just kind of winning throughout and you kind of make the song a little bit better, make it a little bit better than that, etc., etc. All right. So happy about that. I want to listen to the snare transition here. We hear kind of the triplet 1, 2, 3, but it's not convincing enough. And so, when you're making your mixing decisions, in my opinion, it's important to kind of like consult, your inner intelligence and your inner being and say, hey, what's next? What do I have to do? So just try and listen, and your ears and your being will tell you what to do. It's one of the reasons I'll, take this off for a second, because I'm listening through my speakers. I prefer not listening to headphones, but that's not to say you shouldn't do that, right? All right, so let's listen to this. All right, so I'm okay with this. I want to listen to what's happening here and see if there's anything I can do to complement the part. Yeah, no, that's fine. I suppose I could chop it off, but I think it's not, it's inconsequential. It doesn't matter. What we're looking for is more volume here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the region inspector, raise this up. Okay, that's fine, but I'm not getting enough juice. I'm not getting enough impact. So I'm going to go ahead, and there are different ways to do this. I'll just kind of, elaborate, have fun with it. And I'm going to create 3 separate tracks. Again, you could do this with more uniformity where you're doing it all on one, but I'm just going to play with it. So I'm going to lift this up a little bit higher than that and lift this one up a little bit higher than that. And then I'm going to apply parallel compression to all three of these. So I'll select them holding shift, creating a group. Let's go parallel compression. Let's lift this up. And then again, in similar fashion, the bus will be a little bit less here. I'll add a little more here, and then the most right there. Let's see. Cool. Overall, sounding a little better. Let's play with the pitch. So I'll take this back in the region inspector. If you ever want to drag this inspector over to the tracks area, you can, just so you're not moving around so much. And I'll go over to, let's go to fine tune and just drop that down, -50. And then this one here, I will drop two semitones. Yeah, so one whole note, right? And bear in mind, there's a relationship between every region and the inspector. So if you want to know how the parameters are being played inside of the one region, you would want to look inside the inspector. And also there's a relationship between the region inspector and the track, right? So there can be several regions inside of one track, and also there could just be one or two regions. So just, try and understand that relationship, and it will help you a lot. Here we go. Okay. Listen to... Again, I like it. I would love to hear some slap. So I'm gonna go back. See, we added that second snare right here. All right. And I'm looking for triplets. I'm gonna double click on the piano roll. And so now we'll get into the editor. By the way, if you need more space, right, you want a screen set, you can just hit Command 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think I have it set up as 4. So these are screen sets you can develop, so you don't have to work inside of the piano roll. If you don't know what I'm talking about, not even sure if you guys are looking at what I'm looking at. Here, let me check on my display here. Nah, it looks like you guys are not. Well, I'm not sure. Well, anyway, the point is if you guys go into here, screen sets, you can create different separate windows. Think of them like alternate workspaces, so you have more space. If you're on a laptop, this is vital. So cool. We're looking to create triplets. Let's look at the piano roll and reference it. Okay. So bear in mind, we're currently in the grid division 16th. So the value of the grid division right now is 16th notes, right? One knee and so I want triplets. So I'm going to go to 12. And so notice the grid value will change. The size looks different. All right, so now I'm just going to look and try and see if am I in the right place? Do I need 12? Do I need 24? And the value can be changed right up here. Let's check it out. That seems okay. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. Like these, my nudge value is set to division. That's right there. And so now instead of having to move the notes, I hit Option, right arrow key. Sounds okay, but it's not quite on the money. This is now something where it's like, okay, the samples, when I place them, are they on the grid? Not really. So one of the tricks I like to do is I'll move the playhead, start of that region, then you go over to the other region, right? And then you kind of you take a look, you make an analysis, like, where am I here? So you could see that I might need to get off the grid. Before I make that choice and I get off of the grid, I'm going to try 24. It looks like the value of 24 is a little bit better. See how that goes. First one was good. Second one, not so good. Then again, we can go back to the old trick, line this up with the other audio region. If you're having trouble navigating back and forth, something that I would do is I would select all the tracks in between the one you're trying to work with and hit Control H. And just for that moment in time, you can kind of, work with what you got. So I'm going to move this second note right there. And yeah, you can see that it's kind of right in between. Even if I go back to a value of 12, it's not really going to solve that problem. Here, let's line this up. So now I'm going to get off the grid. How do I get off the grid? Well, you can go into Snap, you can go into Smart or Ticks. Let's try Smart. If you guys want to know what Smart does, just hit me up on the comments. I'll hit you up about it. So that looks okay. Let's see if we can get in a little bit finer. Nope, too much. Man, that moves a lot, doesn't it? Let's see. Nope, too much. All right, I wish that moved in real time. That would be nice. All right, so then another suggestion is rather than moving it with the mouse, you move it with nudge, right? So I'm gonna go tick. So now you can hit the little arrows or just hit Option left arrow key. You can see it's moving by one tick, right? That's the smallest denominator, the smallest division value inside of the DAW, and it's still, not perfect, but it's there. I'm pretty sure that'll work. Let's go to the third region. Did I bring that in? I did. All right, so I'm gonna get that, nudge it over. This one kind of start like this. All right, and is also off the grid here. Let me corroborate that by going to a value of 24. Actually, that one is on there as well. So is that one, but it's not. I don't know if it looks perfect, but yeah, there you go. See how it's a little off. So anyway, it doesn't have to be perfect. We already know that. Hit Control H, or I'm sorry, Option H. What's the key command to bring it back? I think it's Option H. All right. So then now everything is back, and let's listen. I like it. I'm gonna just bring down the volume. I want it to blend. Let's try adding a tape stop effect right here. So just create a fade, right click, and let's see what happens. I like it. I like it. One of my go-tos is just automate the back end of that. You want it to sound exciting. So it's all these small things that add up and make a solid mix. Maybe a little too loud, bring it down. All right, let's keep rolling here. Okay, I'm gonna create a transition effect. So something to kind of indicate, hey, now we're about to get started. Let me remove all of these hide functions. Okay, so let's look for a vocal sample. We can also play something in, but here, let me just kind of dive in. Let's try Vox. Maybe. Try that real quick. Chop this off, bring this in, make it louder. Hmm. I know I like the second part, not quite sure about the beginning. Let me chop this off. All right. And then just to kind of bring it out, I'm gonna add some saturation. Man, who just released a new saturation plugin? I need to get it. Need to make some time for that. Is Initial Audio. They just released a really cool plugin. Um, and it works differently from what I understand. So most saturators, they're dependent on the incoming signal. So like, the snare or what have you won't be saturated until the input signal gets into the saturator. But this new one saturates just kind of out of the gate. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me use the gold standard here. And let's find a nice preset. Okay, I like it. It's too heavy, it's too brittle, so I'm back off. All right, very cool. I'm taking the mix down, and then also just the output gain, right? It doesn't need to be that loud. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. And let me go ahead and add some Verb, top notch, symphony, exponential audio, isotope. Here, let me just go in here, type in vocals, or let me type in Vox, see what happens. Nope. We're gonna need to type in vocals, right? I'm not gonna let you get away with it. Nope. Seriously, how about vocal? There we go. All right. So I just like to listen. I don't make any executive decisions till the end of the process. I'll just throw in whatever I deem fit at the moment. Woo! I like it. Let's try it. I'm gonna try making the reverb, the image, wider. So just for fun, I like to do research as I do this. I'm just kind of figuring out as I go along. I like that a little bit more, and the reason I like it a little bit more is because even though it's wider, it sounds like it's further back in the mix. Here, let me show you. If I bypass this, look how the voice or the sample sounds like it's right in front of your face, like literally just kind of hitting you right away again. I like it, but for this specific track, I want to move it, further back into the mix. So I got the mix knob set to 50%, and now the voice now becomes more distant as a result of. Here we go. I dig it. Let me go ahead. All right. And now I'm gonna just figure out this pattern. And by the way, 10.5, man, they got some new functionality. I'm just gonna try it. I haven't even worked with it. I'm doing just mostly learning and application, but I haven't really gotten in and played with it that much yet. So a couple things you could do. You can grab a sample now from the tracks area, and you can just start to sample right away. So like, let me go optimized. And the reason you want optimized is so that when I play it across the keyboard, it doesn't matter where I play it, it's being sampled the same way. And this is a beast right here. So let's try. All right, so I'm getting a little bit of latency. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go into low latency mode. Just so, hold on, I got to move this back here. Cool. All right, so that when I play the keyboard, it's just hitting right away. And I'm still getting, oh wait, that's not the latency button. My bad. All right, let's go to customize control bar and display. And then right here under modes and functions, you want to go ahead and turn on low latency mode. If you have these settings already pre-set up for yourself, you can just hit apply defaults and boom, you're ready to rock. All right, so. All right, so let's try and find. Let's make this louder. I'm going to add some parallel compression. Oh, Yeah, it's bypassing it because of the low latency mode. All right, let me hear what I got. You know what? On second thought, I think I'm gonna sample using the classic way. Let me just try that and see if that works a little bit better. So not optimized. Let's try chromatic. See what happens. C1. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, it was like the other algorithm was changing it too much. So here I'm going to create kind of like a stutter going into it, okay? So notice I press play. Now I'm going to use capture recording to just get right into it. So I'm going to hit Shift R. All right. Notice this region has been looped for me. I don't know why, but if you want to turn off that loop function, just hit L. You can also go into the region inspector and turn it off right there. All right. Let's listen. All right. So again, I'm going to make this sound loud. Turn off low latency mode. Yeah, low latency mode is good, but if it's turning off plugins, just use it and then get rid of it. Okay, I like it. Let's get it bigger. Let's work on that timing, yo. Let's see. Hit Q. Let's move this over. Maybe something like that. Let's reset the grid division. I don't mind it being off like that a little bit. I actually kind of like it. EQ. Let's roll off the high end. Maybe a little more. Oh, yeah, I've got a controller here, and I just I've set up the circuit so that the knobs are already pre-mapped, and I could just do high cuts and low cuts easily. It's like those aren't things I want to think about when I'm, working. Well, I don't mind it, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect right now. That's not the point. It's not the point when you're just kind of getting started and warming yourself up. Just kind of get it to sound good, record the idea, map it out, and then eventually, once you're ready to get into it, you can do that. Let me listen to this part of the song now. I don't really remember what's going on, right? I'm writing a bunch of tracks, collaborating, generating. So I just want to make sure kind of I'm in touch and I'm in tune with it. If you have any questions, just hit me up and I'll do my best to address them. Here we go. Yep, I like the pattern. So I remember once I was over in Santa Barbara. We took the train over there. Beautiful ride if you've never taken it from LA to Santa Barbara. Absolutely stunning ride. Well, anyway, on the way back, I was reading one of my Logic books. You guys know that I've read 10 Logic manuals, and I pride myself on working hard and being studious. Well, anyway, some guy came up to me. He was a complete nut job, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're into Logic." He's like, I love Logic. Can you show me something? There's one thing that I need to learn." And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So I sat him down. We started chatting, and he asked me if I have, an edited, trimmed out region similar to this, is there any way to, kind of bring them together and join them? Well, of course, Command J is going to create a contiguous region. The problem with that is that it's not taking into consideration the space. So notice the space here that I've trimmed out. If I hit Command J, well, it fills it out. So it doesn't really achieve creating one region, in this case audio, but taking into account the dead space, right? So if you want to, you can use the marquee tool, holding Command, select the amount of time. In this case, right, I'm going to do 4 bars, right? So I've created a marquee selection, and then from here, after I've created a marquee selection, Command J, and then now that takes the space into account. So it's pretty genius in terms of workflow and being clean about it, right? You got to know your stuff. I mean, this is your instrument. This is the modern creative, the modern producer. This is your responsibility. You have to know the ins and outs of the program. And if you don't know it all the way, that's fine. What I'm saying is that you know it in such a way where you can achieve your goals, accomplish your dreams, and get your money. Let's try it. Okay, I like this right here. And so then now I'm going to just take this little spot, right? How do I create these selections? I create these selections by making sure I'm in the proper snap mode. In this case, division. So selected it. I'm going to hit Command R. Hold on. All right, let's see what happens. Yep. I like that. So then now I'm going to lift this up. Ooh, listen to this. Check it out. Good, maybe a little too loud, but I like the idea. Man, and you know what? We'll even filter these two a little bit different. So now I'm going to bounce this to audio. I'll mute the source sound. You can see the option right there. And then when you hear this part, or when the listener takes it in, they're going to hear that somehow it's being processed a little bit differently. So maybe I'll move the panning around, I'll do something like, geez, hold on. It's hard to sometimes grab these little bars. Okay, cool. I'll move this over, and then I'll create, like a band pass. Let's do something like that. And just, let's see what that sounds like. And maybe warmer rather than higher. Let's go a little bit warmer. All right, let's see what happens. Yep. Creating contrast, right? It moves around a little bit. Feels good. Look, don't let it become obtrusive. Don't let it be something that gets in the way. But certainly, get that. Put the decorations on the Christmas tree, right? Make it sound a little bit different. Make it have some swag, so it feels good. People listen to it, they're like, "Wow, this cat really knows what he's doing." Here we go. This could also be muffled a little bit more. How would I muffle it? How would I make it sound like it's a little bit more narrow? Well, you see the gain knob right here? I'm just going to go ahead and bring this down. All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm not telling you to go crazy. You can just make a quick little choice, bring it in, bring it out. So let's see what this sounds like. Okay, I dig it. We do two things. I've got two ideas in my head. Again, I let the intuition guide me to the next part, right? So don't doubt your intuition. Get in there, trust it. So I want to take that line, dum da dum da, right? So let me use beat, snap mode, select those two, hit Command R, see what happens. Maybe we'll try it. Region inspector, transpose down 12 semitones. That may or may not work. Let's try it. Yup, that's it. It's good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Here we go. From the top. All right, just one more idea. Bring this over. Man, if I had this information when I was starting up, guys, man, I would have given a lot for it. Trust me. Cool. With this guy here, I'm gonna go ahead and move everything over to the right. Yup. Let's go. Yep. Really like that. Really like that sequence. So see, that carries over 4 bars. I'm pretty sure we can just do that. would really like this to carry over with the reverb, this specific region. So bear in mind, in my channel strip, I've got a reverb, right? And so now what I'm going to ask Logic to do is, hey, I want to bounce this, but I want to do it in such a way where it's independent from the other track, and I want the effects to carry on, right? I don't just want to bounce it and have it chop off. So I'm going to hit Control B, bounce the region in place, and then right here where it says include the audio tail in the file, I want to go ahead and make sure that's active. And then now look at this region. If I select it and hit Z, zoom to selection, you'll see that the reverb carries through. All right, let's listen. Okay, let me just do one glitch edit and then we'll call it a day. I got my contact coming, so I'm gonna have to get out of here, guys. Here, let's see what's up. So you can see that the note starts right here, right? Here, let me solo the vocalist so we can really hear this. Oh wait, it's here. Or is it here? One of those. But here's what I want to do. I want to create a glitch as the phrase is coming to an end. We can do... Let's try it. See what happens. Cool. Let's try that. Maybe I'll change the timing for fun. See, that's kind of a tripped out timing. You could do that, but you could also do... So, no right or wrong. It just depends on what you're feeling. I don't know. Sometimes just doing it an unusual way is cool, because like if you're used to doing things a certain way, it's kind of good to kind of get out of that box. I don't know if I would usually make this decision. Let's check it out. All right, my last reference, and then I'll just commit. Yeah, it sounds kind of boring, and you know, kind of it's like what I would usually do. So I'm gonna just try something else. Hey, look, you can always move it back, right? Just chop it off a little bit, and let's take another listen. Oh, I dig it. You're telling a story, right? There's got to be an arc. And we can even glitch this one out a little bit more, but I'm going to leave it as is. All right, but one thing I want to do specifically to this one is I want to add a ton of reverb. So guess what? One last time, bounce to audio. I'm going to create a bus. I've already done some of this work from what I remember. Let's see. Yeah, it's not big enough. So I'm going to go into my channel strip settings, and this is a place where you can save presets. And I've got something here called Reverb for Edits. So it's something I do quite a bit. All right, so that's already up and running. And so I want this to sound particularly majestic and, you know, like it's inside of a big space. If I can go more. I'm going to see if I can color the reverb a little bit and get away with it. I don't know. Here's the Abbey Road trick. Thank you, Mr. George Martin. Here we go. Gets a little aggressive. Maybe I'll put the width down. Maybe we'll just put the wet value down. That didn't bother me so much. Here, let's make it more distant. Getting closer. Yeah, I'll take it for now. And all right, so here we are. I'm going to wrap up here, and let's check it out one last time. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Keep at it every day. Get your reps in. Put in that work. Sometimes you score 15 points. Sometimes you score 50. If you guys are checking out The Last Dance, let Michael Jordan be inspiration. Try and do it all. Conquer the game. Conquer every facet of the game. And super happy to be here and to be present, right? This is a gift. I wasn't always doing this. I had a whole nother career before this, and it just feels absolutely amazing that it's possible, that you can do it. If you have dreams, if you've wanted to do this for a long time and you never knew, how, you never found a solution for yourself. I just want to be the one to tell you that it's possible. I'm doing it every single day, closing big deals every single week, and super grateful to God. So, anyway, stay on it, keep pushing. If you're interested in what we're doing here, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and check us out at hfmusicacademy.com. All right, man. Well, we're out of here. Take it easy. Peace.